Welcome to the Purposed Audacity podcast, where we aim to nurture, amplify voices, and inspire our community to stand boldly in their Christian identity. Join Brian and Charmian Marie weekly as they have riveting discussions surrounding healing, restoration, and purpose. This is Purposed Audacity, powered by PAJE magazine. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Purposed Audacity. I am Charmian Marie.
And I am Brian.
Right, and with that said, we are at episode number, what episode is, does it matter?
You see it in the title, episode that.
Yeah. It's just been a great journey, guys, and it has felt full, and we are hoping that by now you are inspired more and more to find your purpose and walk boldly in your purpose and your identity in Jesus Christ. Right?
And we actually hope we've been helping you guys. We really hope so. Yeah. So I just want to take the time out to say, guys, it's a reason why we tell you to comment down below.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a reason. Because we want to know. We want to know if we're helping. We want to help you. We don't want to know if we're serving you. If there are any topics you want us to talk about or kind of go over, feel free. Let us know. Yeah. If there's anything about purpose that you would like us to just, really touch on and expand on. Let us know. You never know. We might have to bring in a guest to,
Speaking of which, we have guests coming up later in the season, and we have a pretty hefty lineup.
That's right.
So we're actually enjoying this cruising time,
right.
And making sure y'all get to know us and all of that, and then we're gonna jump right into some of these guest appearances.
Also, remember you can listen to us if you're not able to watch on YouTube. You can listen to us on Spotify, Anchor, Apple.
Pretty much anywhere
all
you stream your podcast.
Streaming podcast platforms.
Yeah.
Yes, that's podcast platform.
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah. So now today's title.
Yeah, today's topic is can I say tongue-in-cheek kind of a vibe? Like,
really?
It's one of those things that you don't really talk about, but it exists and stuff. So yeah, the question is, are some Christian creatives more addicted to ministry than actually God?
Oh, Rebbe.
Yeah.
Hey, what's that?
Yeah, man.
Are Christian creatives more addicted to ministry than to God?
Right, and I want to actually start things off with this one. Cause as soon as the title, and funny enough, the topic actually came out of conviction. Conviction that I received years ago and stuff, and I know that a lot of people they have the Holy Spirit kind of just nudging them, but them just fending him off like it's a little mosquito. But let's just stop doing this. But saying that to say, you see, because of the, I don't want to say mantle, pedestal. That a lot of artists and entertainers and ministers, are placed on and stuff. Sometimes that actually causes a seeping through of an intense level of, I don't want to say pride. There's another word I'm looking for. That causes us to be more fixated on excellence, to be more fixated on honing your craft and all of these things. These things are good enough. You want to make sure you're giving your best. You want to make sure that you're showing up, to the best of your ability and stuff like that. But then how much time is really spent trying to abide in the giver of that talent? Trying to abide in that secret place to allow you to make sure that you're pouring out from a purified place. Yeah. And when I say purified, I do not believe, we know nobody is perfect. We are imperfect people serving a perfect God. However, we are also called to renew our minds and spirits on a daily basis and all these things. Mm-hmm. We can't renew our mind and all these things without committing these things to God, without repenting and all these things and stuff. So it means that we need to be actively spending time with God. So when you're trying to build yourself and build up your brand and and basically turn up the thing and whatever, you know. You know, and I mean, again, I do believe in all of. I'm a brand strategist. I believe in these things. But when you do it void of God, and basically become almost low-key obsessed with that, you know, it creates a problem. It creates a problem and a low-key addiction. And one of the things that I was you know, convicted with, you know, is when somebody said this exact thing to me, you know, make sure that you are you know, not obsessed with the ministry, but rather actually finding your footing and your deeper desire to dwell in and please God, right? And then honestly, from that that conviction and stuff like that, like anytime I find myself crawling out of that, and anytime I find myself like really operating void of talking to God and all of that, like that statement always comes back to me. And then the other thing that comes back to me is the fact that the Lord said, if there is something that we place before Him, if there's something that replaces Him at the top, then He's going to remove it. And so, you know, have that removed when you initially created it or initially established it somehow to glorify Him. You get what I'm saying? Like, that awkward. You get me? So, yeah, those are my starting points.
Here's the interesting factor that you even just raised, however, is that, you know, the Egyptians, not the Egyptians, sorry, the Israelites created that golden calf out of trying to, that golden calf, either out of trying to please God.
Really?
Because when you check it back, where they were trying to use what they knew, which is that to create an image of God. So God, He was strong, He was this and He was that, and one of the images that was reflective of that when they were in Egypt was the bull, right? And so they were trying to create an image of God to say, we're trying to praise you, but they missed God. This was He was literally at the top of the mountain, they're at the bottom of the mountain, and they're missing Him.
Yep.
And so I definitely understand what you mean, like, yo, the thing in itself, ministry in itself, we can put ministry above God. A lot of times, even though the way how that is done is that, like, I've been a part of ministry for a while, and I can tell you straight up, this is my confession, and God had to deal with me for a good while when it came on to situations like that, where you can do ministry in your flesh.
Yep.
You can do ministry in your flesh.
Say it again for the people in the back.
And then you will sit down and realize how empty you are spiritually, how empty you are. Like, there's nothing new coming out, there's nothing new pouring out of you, because you're not spending time with God, you're not in the place of sitting with Him. What new thing is He doing in this season? What new thing is He calling you to for this time? But we just do the thing, because it's the way we know to do the thing, and we just want to make sure the thing do and get done. And especially if the thing start make some money. Especially if the thing start generate some traffic. And the merch a sell. And the disc a go out. And the podcast fly off. Yeah, I say these things so you can remind us. We're going to watch back this video and remind we say, yo, we need to be in a God and not necessarily just in a purpose or Audacity, because the truth is, we could have this lovely platform and you guys could come on and we can have thousands and millions, 50 million. You see me? We can have millions of people watching and being fed everything by this. But we here, we could literally be missing God. Because what if God says he wants us to talk on a specific topic, or do a specific thing, or invite a specific person to come and talk about a specific thing, or go out to a specific church, or help a specific this or that. And because we are so caught up, we're like, no, it's not a time for that. No. That's not, yeah. So we can be so caught up, right? So caught up to the point where we really miss God. And that's why it is so important as creatives, and especially as creatives, with our minds that shoot off with various things from time to time, and how creative we can be, and how creative we can get, and how deep we can dive into that well of creativity. We have to, as creative Christians, be linked to the Lord.
So, as you were talking, a very heavy point landed on my spirit, and I want to remind persons to not be afraid to hold the Christian creatives accountable. Because our reality is that...
Continue.
Yeah, because our reality is that a lot of persons, and I've heard the argument before, right? Where, a lot of persons look on the stage and see people are sing, or see preachers, and I'm gonna put preachers in the category of a Christian creative, actually, because there's still a level of creativity that flows from you when you're writing, right?
Okay.
Exactly, right? So a lot of persons look on stage while you are speaking, or while you are singing, or while you are delivering your creative piece, at least, whether you're a drummer, dancer, all them thing there, And in relation to what you were saying in terms of we can actually minister in the flesh and stuff, a lot of people actually look on the stage and say, well, the person gets in the spirit, so them in God, or the person operating under the anointing, so yeah man, them good, And our reality is that, do we not forget that demons have tongues too? Do we not forget that or do we forget rather that like people actually like do the shankle dip? You get what I'm saying? Do we forget that people actually like out here living fake lives?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And I mean, I want to say double lives, And so I'm not saying that, okay, like in terms of like keeping people accountable and whatever, I'm not saying you must come get up in them grills and whatever. No. But it's a reality that we need to be discerning as as Christians.
Yeah.
And if we see something off and stuff, we can help in terms of keeping that Christian creative grounded, I mean, as a Christian creative myself and whatever, I'm not gonna tell you say that I go feel good, if like somebody pick up something and say, well, it did feel very fleshy, like I'm not gonna say it's gonna feel good, but our reality is though that, if it is that we're truly doing things in love, and if it is that we're truly meaning to just hold our brother accountable and stuff, so that the kingdom can truly be advanced with healthy individuals, spiritually, emotionally, and all these things, then there's nothing wrong with doing that, It's about helping the person along, and not seeking to tear them apart, but to build them up. And so I feel that is actually the key point as well. If you see that something is off and whatever, don't just say, well, you did wrong and you did off and gotta go smite you and whatever. Rather say, hey, something going on with you, or you get what I'm saying? Like especially if you have that type of relationship with the individual, So I'm not negating though. Like if me not know you're from Adams, and you come over to me or whatever, me possibly I gonna look for you like, oh, what you said to me right now. But especially that's where community comes into play, and that's where a functional community comes into play, where we're actually learning to just journey with people and see them where they are and stuff, and recognize that Christian creatives, though put on a pedestal by so many individuals, are people, and are people who are pursuing God in their brokenness and seeking to still carry out a mandate.
Yep. I wanted to say, with that, I would recommend that, especially for persons who are close to those creatives or close to those persons, because social media can get wonky.
Oh gosh, no, me not talk about
social media can get wonky if you don't know the person, and I feel like if you don't know the person, don't go in them comment section and be
do the most. Or even them DMs, even though it's private, no.
Yeah, don't do that. I think you can. And if you're gonna say something in love, because you don't know the person.
Like love is relative.
You know what? If you don't know the person, be careful of what you say
and how you say.
Yeah. But especially, as I said, definitely for the community. And I would go even further to say, Christian creatives seek accountability. Get accountability.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you may think that you're fine and you're good, or maybe you could be going through some stuff and you just feel like you don't have nobody you can talk to about it, but you need somebody to talk to about it, because at the end of the day, whatever ministry you're in, whatever function you have, whatever thing you're operating, it has to continue, or it's gonna continue, you know, or it's gonna keep going even though you're in this place that you're in. And so sometimes you need somebody there to say, yo, I'm feeling like this, I feel this way, I feel that way, or I really went through a bad patch this week and honestly I don't know how, you know, just somebody to talk to for say, Ray, you know, somebody who can look and say, as you say, somebody can look and say, yeah, what going on, so? You're good? You don't look good. What happened? And just know that you're not in the place that you normally are, or the place that you would want to be in to really give God glory.
So as you were talking, I don't know what the Holy Spirit was going on. So it became apparent that we didn't necessarily speak about how we can identify whether or not we are obsessed as I don't want to say obsessed, addicted, or taken up with with ministry over, you know, like dwelling in God and ministering from that place. And as you mentioned, you know, or as we've been mentioning, like if we're not okay in a season, or if we're not flowing out of our, there is supposed to be room for you to take a step back.
Yep.
There is supposed to be room for you to say, yo, we're not good right now, and you having that place of responsibility to not necessarily pour from that place, even though God can use you in that place. So yeah, cool, we definitely know that. But if it is that, yo, you know, say it not right, you get me? But somehow you still feel yourself needing to show up on stage. Somehow you still see yourself needing to do the most and whatever, instead of actually pulling back and spending time with God. Right? A reality is that even Jesus, like after many of the miracles and whatever, you know, in the Bible it always say, and Jesus went away to a place to basically spend time with the Father and whatever. You know, even Jesus said, yo, am I gonna take himself away for some time and all these things, versus showing up, doing the most, healing, all these things and whatever.
Because he knew that he would need to abide in the Father.
Right, exactly. And so if it is that you literally feel yourself not being able to do that and stuff, perhaps check your heart. Check where you are and see if like you're more obsessed with just showing up, or not. I don't even want to say obsessed, as I said, but caught up with the routine. Caught up with as we said in one of our previous episodes, pleasing people, or maybe it is funny enough, and this may sound kind of awkward, maybe your church is helping to nurture a thing of you being more ministry focused than God focused. Because our reality is that there are a lot of churches where, you know, you're ministering and whatever, and they have come to rely on you. So you get caught up in that funk now and stuff, and that routine and stuff. So if you want to pull back and come deal with your spirit man or whatever, you don't have the time to do that. And so it facilitates the growth of that stance, and that's not good for your inner man.
I want to say, churches, set up accountability for your ministers.
Yes.
Especially your creative ministers. I say creative ministers just to, you know, people who may be doing like art and what have you differently. The arts differently are what have you, but set up accountability for your ministers.
and space
for them to breathe.
Yeah.
We call upon our ministers a lot. Without you will get a phone call. Hey, can you come and do this devotion for us and sing? And you don't know. And okay, yes, it is on that person's part to say yes or no. Right. It's on that person's part to say, hey, I'm actually not in the place to
but talk about that problem.
The person may, because next thing the person is in a spot where the person who called them, they don't want to talk to that person. Mm-hmm. So I'm not gonna tell this person that, hey, I'm not in the mindset and I just feel like my heart is not there and They may not want to talk to that person about that. They may just end up unfortunately lying and be like, I'm busy. I have something at that time. Sorry.
Yeah.
Set up accountability for your ministers. Because we support because a lot of times we call on them so much, and when they're going through stuff, a lot of times we know this, them not gonna talk.
But there's the assumption that they're taking care of themselves.
There's the assumption. There's the big assumption that they're in the Word. They're worshiping.
Yeah.
They're seeking the Lord.
Yeah.
There's that big assumption because they're not saying it. And if you have a relationship with them, you'll know. You will know if they're good or if they're not. You'll know if they're telling you that they're okay versus they're like them really, really good. Yeah, man, good for a real man.
Yeah. I mean, guys, like we also didn't drop this question on our page, but we definitely know that there is some of you who would really be agreeing or disagreeing. But with that said, guys, the point stands, especially as Christian creatives, we need to be careful about our intentions behind what we're doing. But even if it's not just coming down to our intentions, but even just being a part of a community and serving within that and finding that ministry is overtaking our relationship with God or our devotion to God and stuff based on our personal time with Him and stuff, then we have the responsibility to really look into that and go back to the source and spend time with God and stuff. And if it is that you find yourself receiving a fight from your church and stuff like that, this is also a call for the churches, as Brian said earlier, to really support the Christian creatives so that they can more holistically serve and be able to feel free to be a regular Christian and a regular human being pursuing God, even though they are called to great things.
Yep, as Brady said, to God again. Yeah, for real, guys, for real.
Yeah.
Seek ye first the kingdom. Seek ye first the kingdom of righteousness.
Yeah.
And if you write this up, you know the rest.
Yeah, guys. So with that said, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Right. And we thank you for watching today's episode. If you have any comments, questions, drop them below. Right. And don't forget to share this with your friends. Again, we want to encourage as many persons as possible to stand up in purposed audacity. So with that said, join us for our next episode. We will see you soon. Bye.